name's Ceri Lee and I run the Yoga Light Centre in Ruthin, North Wales. And in class we do spend quite a bit of time working on the shoulders, and I'm going to share with you some go-to shoulder yoga practices to really help release tension around the shoulders and the neck area. So to start with, you're going to move into what we call child posture in yoga. So if you come onto your knees, and then you're just going to fold over your body, and you're going to take your arms out in front of you, and you're aiming to rest your head on the mat. Now if that doesn't happen, you can grab a cushion or a block and rest your head, because we want to have the neck supported, so we don't want tension in the neck. So please do give yourself that support. So just taking a moment in this position, breathing into your back body. So as you breathe in, feel the rise of the breath moving into the back of the rib cage. And then on the exhalation, feel that release. And perhaps see if you can walk the fingers a little bit more forward, whilst keeping the bottom as close to your heels as possible. 2 more breaths here. Now bring your hands into your prayer position above the head. And from here, see if you can walk the elbows a little bit more forward. And then see if you can place your thumbs on the top of the shoulders and continue to breathe. Breathing in deeply and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. And gently release the hands and walk yourself back up to kneeling. So from kneeling, can you interlock those fingers behind your body and pull those hands down, those interlocked hands down? And you might even want to see if you can try and bring the fists together and imagine they're being pulled down towards the ground. And as you work here, just notice that the chest wants to lift up. So allow that head to respond as well. Nice and loose in the face, soft face. Perhaps the lower jaw slightly opens. 2 more breaths. And release. Okay, great. So we're going to look at Gomakasana, the cow's face posture. And this is a very, very powerful posture for both the hips and the shoulders. So let's take a look at the legs first, and there are modifications for those with super tight hips. The idea is that you start from kneeling and place your bottom on the left side of the feet so that you can lift that left foot up, and then you're aiming to pull that left ankle next to the left hip, and then see if you can take that right ankle away from underneath the right buttock and aim to get both buttocks on the floor. There are different variations to Gomakasana. This is just one variation, so if you've been taught in a slightly different way, that's absolutely fine, and perhaps just do the practice that you enjoy most, that sits well with your body. If this feels really uncomfortable or you're getting real tension in the knees, most specifically the left knee, simply take that left foot and straighten it. And then what you can do is you may find there's a bit more movement to be able to take that right heel to the left buttock. If, however, you are able to sustain this position more or less, but you feel that you are on a tilt, you can just grab a cushion or a block and wedge it underneath the side you're tilting to level yourself up again, okay? All right, so from here, you're then going to lift the right arm up and then drop that hand down to the spine. From here, you then take the left hand and place it at the right elbow. And as you breathe out, you are exhaling that elbow back. So just take this for a couple of breaths. And then you might want to see if you can take that left arm away and bring it behind the back. And you may find that you can interlock those fingers together. Now, if you're unable to do that, simply take that left hand back to the elbow and keep exhaling, pulling back. You're going to feel that in the triceps. And we just hang out here for a few breaths. With every inhalation, you are growing taller from the base of the spine. And every exhalation, you're relaxing the shoulders down. Now, after a couple more breaths, you may want to see if you can hinge at the hips. You're not going to go anywhere far, but you are going to feel it. So on your next exhalation, just see if you can begin to hinge really slowly and breathe into that resistance. Keep pulling that right elbow back. One more breath. And then inhale, upright. Gently release those hands. Sit back on the hands so that you can unravel the legs and then windscreen wiper those legs. Okay, so we have all that to do again on the other side. So, taking both feet to the left side of the hips, then lift that left foot up and aim to pull that foot as close to the right hip as possible, and then create space so the left buttocks can get to the ground. So ultimately, you're aiming to get the knees in alignment in the middle, okay? Again, if that's not happening for you today and it feels not right for your body, you can either release that right leg and straighten it, thereby creating a bit more movement in the upper leg, so you're just working on that left hip, or grab a cushion to place under the bit that you're leaning into. Okay, so let's take the left arm up and drop the hand back. Breathe. Take the right hand to the left elbow and exhale, pull back with that arm. And then see if you can release that right hand and interlock the fingers together behind your back. If that's not happening, you can take the right hand to the left elbow. I might say at this point as well that you could also work with a strap that you're holding onto behind your back, or a resistance band. And with every exhalation, you're pulling that left elbow back and taking 4 more breaths here. And then on the next exhalation, begin to hinge forward at the hips. Breathe into the resistance. Next inhalation, inhale up, right again, and release, hands behind you and knees from side to side. Okay, so from here back onto your knees, and this time we're going to go into an extended puppy. Now the essential difference between the extended puppy and child is that the bottom stays above the knees. So you've got your hips above your knees, and then you're going to lower either the chest or forehead. It's easier if the forehead comes to ground first. So perhaps just see if you can get that forehead down to the ground and breathe. And then after a couple of breaths, you may want to see if you can lower your chest down so your chest and chin are resting on the ground. Let's take 4 breaths here. And gently come up, bringing the hands closer to you, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, so you are now in a tabletop position. And we're going to practice what's called threading the needle. So you're going to inhale and lift the right arm up to the sky. See if you can turn your head as well to look to your hands. Hold this for a couple of breaths. And then you're going to exhale and draw that right hand between the gap of the arms and the body. And rest the head on the floor, extending the left arm forward. Holding this for a few breaths. And then seeing perhaps if you can come even further through with that right hand, and then perhaps walking the left fingers over to the right. 4 breaths. And after the next breath, just sliding the left hand towards your head so you can push up and back into tabletop. And then the left arm is going to raise. Inhale up. Look at the hand if you can. Push through that right arm and shoulder. Push away from that right shoulder. And then exhale, thread that needle through. And extend the right arm forward, resting your left cheek on the mat, and breathe. Perhaps see if you can walk the left fingers even further away from you, and then walk the right fingers over to the left. 4 breaths. And next inhalation, slide the right hand towards your head, push up and come into tabletop. And I always like to finish with a little hip wriggle, just to ease out any tension you may have created in those hips, and you circle the other way. And that's it. So hopefully that's helped helped to loosen not only your shoulders but also your hips. Take care and see you next time.